Hi, this is Rachel Bench, and I'm going to do my final reflection. First of all, I wanted to just get to the 4 weeks as opposed to the 8 weeks. I think that this class is very doable in 4 weeks. However, I think that the 8 week time frame would allow people to memorize it and go off paper. So, and not for everything, but just for like the poems and some of the stories. And I think if you really want to see emotion conveyed, I think we really need the time to memorize it and go off paper so that we can convey it, because we're focusing so hard on the reading of the text that some of that emotion is lost in the concentration. So I think that would be one of the things that would be a definite plus for the 8-week class. If you don't mind some of that, concentration and because of it, some of the emotional, the emotional withdrawal because of the concentration, then 4 weeks is just fine. But I definitely think that would help. I also think that a 4-week plan should have a little bit of a tutorial for I'm very technically savvy. I know how to download videos. My kids have been on computers since they're little. I have no issues, but there's some technical issues that come from Wi-Fi disconnect, which is what I've been having lately. It's not just your class that it's been happening with. It's just something that I'm 3,000 feet from the server, and it happens occasionally. So it happens, but I think that having a little bit of extended time helps people to kind of address, if there is technical issues, they have a little bit of time to correct those technical issues and make deadlines, instead of, like in my first project's case, I went, an hour and a half over the deadline because of technical issues. And when I did finally get my presentation done, it was a bit hurried and a little bit less than I would have put out there if I had a little bit extra time and didn't have to deal with some of those technical issues. The second thing I needed to mention to you is, for me, when I took this class because I come from a background of a dysfunctional environment. I was in foster care for a couple of years, and because of that, you tend to build barriers and tend to not convey emotion, because emotion tends to give people power over you. And so for me, that has always been a little bit of an issue. And so it's not something that I am very good at. And the second thing is that I work in a very volatile classroom. I work in special education, severe. And so we cannot show emotion. We have to be very calm at all times. And so in my occupation, it's incredibly necessary to not convey an emotion, and just kind of keep the atmosphere calm at all times, no matter what is happening in that environment. And it just kind of tends to calm the kids to know that somebody's in control at all times. So for that reason, I had a very difficult time with this class, because I've trained myself over how many years to keep these walls up. That being said, I tried to take classes that expand my horizon and help me to be a better communicator, a better educator. And so one of the reasons I took this class is because I'm not good at this, and I'm not comfortable with this. And quite frankly, I've done a number of education courses where I've had to present in front of the entire class, and you get little butterflies in your stomach, but it's no big deal because I teach in front of a classroom every single day. It's not that big a deal. However, in front of a camera with this unknown audience, it's terrifying. I'm not going to lie to you. It's terrifying. It has gotten easier over the course of the class, but it's not an easy practice. And when you put the video on about, or made the comments about, if you're the reasons why you're doing this, and if you're feeling stupid, I just want to comment. I don't know about others, but for me, I felt stupid just because this was beyond my comfort zone, and the unknown audience out there just made me feel so vulnerable that it wasn't necessarily because I thought it was a stupid medium. It was I felt like it opened me up more than I was willing to be opened. So just keep that in mind also, because it, like I said, it's just, for me, it was very intimidating. The other thing that I will say is that some of the the projects that you chose, definitely pushed us to try different things. And I don't think that that was a negative. I think that's a positive, because, yeah, I thought of myself as 100 years old in some of these things. Like, what do I even know about this medium? But the thing is it also gave me the ability to reach out to others and find out how to present some kind of information like this. I tend to be a problem solver, and I tend to try to solve those problems by myself. And this class pushed me beyond that point. I had to ask for help from my oldest, and I don't ask for help. It's just not something I do. And so, quite frankly, that was a new experience, and I enjoyed the heck out of asking for help and really getting to understand her her talent. She's a talented individual, and it really impressed me. And she was going to do this poem with me, quite frankly, but I really wanted to challenge myself to do it. And quite frankly, she would make me look just horrible next to her. She's good. She's really good. So if you are interested in hearing something from her, I will have her do it separately, because she will make me look so bad in comparison to her talent. She's amazing. The other thing that I wanted to mention was that when I did the Raven, you said, what does the darkness mean? Well, I think that, coming from my background, I wanted to just mention that fear for me was the darkness. I mean, and it was a multitude of different fears, and it all represented itself within the darkness, and I was terrified of it. So I've spent years overcoming those fears. And so for me, when he opened the door at the end of that poem, it was the overcoming of those fears. And so maybe I interpreted that poem a little bit differently because of my life experiences and where I am now in life. But I definitely felt like the darkness was what he was afraid of at first. And when he pushed himself to respond to the unknown and open the door despite that fear, it was the overcoming of that fear. So that was my interpretation of the Raven. So if I didn't convey that, I apologize, but that's what I was trying to convey. The resource on my poetry analysis, it was the same resource. That's why I didn't put it down twice, is because the first part, the information that I got from there, I found this awesome website, and it was all about poetry, and I went to his particular section of that website and read all about his portion. It had the poem, and then it had all the information about him and his life. So it was the same website. So that's why that reference was only one. It's because it was one website. So if I didn't make myself clear on that, I apologize for that also, because I don't plagiarize. Let's see. And I think the other thing that I was not clear on was the children's PowerPoint. I assumed that you wanted us to kind of put pictures together and then read do the audio clips to read the story to life. And I'm hoping that is in fact what the true nature of the project was. But I didn't know if, God forbid, you wanted us to act that out or not, or, what have you. And I was hoping that wasn't the case, because if you want me to feel truly foolish, that would have been the way to go about it. But I just, like I said, I interpreted it the way I did because I was probably because more wishful thinking than anything else. So I'm hoping that that was in fact the true nature of your project. I enjoyed this class a great deal. I think I learned a lot from this class. I pushed my horizons, expanded my horizons, and quite frankly, I obviously feel a lot more comfortable in front of a camera than I did at the very beginning because I was intimidated as heck when I first started this class. And I think that it's something that I need to pursue even further because if I'm going to be making presentations to, auditoriums or whatever throughout my academic career as an educator, I definitely need to get more comfortable with this. So I think it was a phenomenal experience, and I thank you for that. Thank you.